guys? Budcat7 here. Okay, it is Thursday, November 23, 2023, and I'd like to thank you for visiting the Stonewall Research 2 channel here on YouTube. I am Budcat, your host, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody because it's Thanksgiving Day here in the USA. And I hope everybody's had a pleasant Thanksgiving with lots of love from family and friends, and I hope you're having a wonderful day, guys. I had to work today, so I didn't have too much fun, but luckily nice customer dropped off some food for me, so I'm gonna have some turkey and stuff a little bit later after I make this video here. So anyway, I'd like to talk about the Tic Tac UAP because I had mentioned it in a previous video how it sort of proves my point and the thread and the way of thinking that I've been going through on my other channel for quite some time now. Is one of the topics from that I discuss on my other channel here. I'm going to discuss here, and I had mentioned how it sort of proves my point that these things are living creatures and not spaceships or spacecraft of any kind. And again, if you're new to this, or you're new to the channel, or just subscribing or taking a look at this now, look, this is not an original idea of mine. It goes back to Charles Fort, actually, and I did a video about it on my other channel. I sort of mentioned this, this thread, and just part of UFO lore, and it's not mentioned, seldom mentioned, or not mentioned at all. I just find it curious as to why everything else is explored on this topic except this thread of it, and I find it extremely interesting because it in itself is extremely interesting. So if it should be like this, but it's not my original idea, and as I said, it goes all the way back to Charles Fort. So people have been discussing this thread, this idea, for some time, and even current pictures and photographs that people have of certain UFOs that they've been able to capture on film or by camera or whatever look like creatures. They don't look like spaceships. But that all aside, just the reason why I'm mentioning it is because when they first released the film there, from the Navy pilots there who had it there, one in particular, I had watched an analysis of it on YouTube. I can't find it now because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of videos on this on YouTube now. It's just impossible for me to find it. It was like a military analyst, and he's a former fighter pilot himself, or Navy pilot himself, and he's doing analysis of the Tic Tac film, the wing camera footage from the actual fighter. And first of all, the thing was acting erratically, and when it positioned itself to go into the direction I guess that it wanted to go, and it ended up 60 miles away in a blink of an eye. When that happened, the fellow who was doing the analysis said, "Hey, it's a shapeshifter UFO." So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so look, we're supposed to believe that, some sort of spacecraft or a spaceship. Okay, can your car shapeshift? And a boat or a plane or a rocket ship or whatever, can it shapeshift? Okay, just nothing that's some rigid craft is going to have the ability to shapeshift in a way. It was like it curled around like a worm. Okay, I think in the other video that I have on my other channel where I show space animals, there was this sort of worm-like creature that somebody had photographed. So look, this is my contention. If you haven't seen any of those videos, you can go to my other channel there, my Stonewall Research channel, take a look at them. But this Tic Tac UFO, is my other channel here. Here's a video of mine. UFOs are not spaceship. They're extremely intelligent living creatures, intelligent space bugs. So listen to what Charles Fort had to say about it. If you missed this video, you guys who are previous subscribers to my other channel, just check this out again. And right? What they say in here. In the late 1940s and 1950s, some theorists thought flying saucers might be space animals. The first to suggest this idea, however, was Charles Fort in his 1931 book, Low, where he speculated that unknown objects in the sky could be, quote, living things that occasionally come from somewhere else, unquote. A few days after Kenneth Arnold's sighting on June 24th, 1947, the guy who interviewed the guy for the Maury Island sighting, that's Kenneth Arnold, John Philip Besser wrote the Air Force to tell it what the flying discs were, a, quote, form of space animal, unquote, propelled by quote-unquote telekinetic energy. Okay? These creatures might be carnivorous, which I think they are, and I think that's what the Politis has on his hands that nobody's ever written to him about, nobody's ever talked about, nobody from the UFO community has ever talked about it with him. Nope. And why not? What's the problem? That's what I want to know. It's not an original idea of mine, or even anybody writing these articles here. You know? Many, quote, many falls of flesh and blood from the sky in times past, unquote, he declared, could be the leftover remains of unfortunate persons eaten by hungry UFOs. Okay, so you get the idea, okay, for this is just one of the videos from my other channel here. I go through these things. This is not my original idea. This idea's been around a lot, and you don't hear it discussed at all. So what is the problem, okay? This thread should be discussed since we don't know what they are. This is why they call them UAPs now. I can't make up their mind, I don't think, what they want to call them. Unidentified anomalous phenomena, unidentified aerial phenomena. I mean, they're trying to get more scientific about it, but they can't make up their minds, I guess. But in any case, all right, this rigid thing here, this artist rendering here, whatever, can't be a shapeshifter, okay? I'm sorry I can't find the video. I wish I could. This is a fighter pilot doing the analysis of it. It's a shapeshifter UFO, okay? You want to believe whatever, okay? I want to keep it down to earth, okay? Well, what else can shapeshift? Well, things right here on earth. The many amazing animals on this planet do all sorts of amazing things. Just outdo us by, you know, so many different multiples. All right, I'm sorry, but, you know, when the prey animals come around and I'm there with the mountain lion, the bear, and the pack of wolves and other predatory animals, and oops, I forgot my spear and bow and arrow and my gun back at my hut or my cave or whatever it is, well, I'm not eating tonight, but they are, see? So who's more perfect? Come on, let's get real about it. It doesn't matter. Our measure of intelligence is all skewed anyway. It's completely biased and everything else. But here's some other creatures who can shapeshift, guys. It's not an unusual idea. Cuttlefish is extremely unusual. But it looks like an alien, right? But cuttlefish have unique qualities and have unique skills. And many animals on this planet have unique skills, including dragonfly, okay? Here's a truth drop for you. Here's a dragonfly ship from Dune. Could the Dune ornithopter actually fly in real life? Well, if it could fly like a dragonfly. It's the only creature on this planet that can accelerate instantly at full power in any direction, sort of like a UFO, right? Any direction. And the dragonfly is just an amazing animal that scientists can't figure out. They have skills, unbelievable skills. I've gone over it on channel, these sort of camouflage skills that the prey animal thinks it's stationary when it's not. It's actually getting closer and closer to them and going back to the same spot it was in, the exact same spot. Not like slightly off or something like that. The exact same spot, instantaneously, like in milliseconds, back and forth, so fast that the prey animal doesn't know that it's getting closer and closer. It sees it's stationary in one spot. Okay, but it's getting closer and closer. How does it do that? It has no brain. Its brain is in its whole body. There's only room for the eyes in its head. They don't know how it does these complex calculations and is able to overtake their prey. The dragonfly is the only predatory animal on the planet that has a 100% success rate. 100% success rate. Okay, so think about the amazing qualities of these animals, and it's been reported so many times that these things are animals. Look, what happened to Betty and Barney Hill, here's a great picture of James Earl Jones looking up from his car or whatever, okay? So, and how this refers back to Dave Paulides and Missing 411, and how it relates to people being paralyzed by UFOs, okay? How are they paralyzed, okay? Well, these things emit a certain energy field. They're probably silicon-based life forms or some sort of life form that's not carbon-based, okay, with, powerful, mechanisms in that propel them through the atmosphere and through space. It must require so much energy. Okay, and this may be raw materials on this planet that they need, and that's why they come here. They have to go through the atmosphere there and get burned up. They have to have hard shells. But the type of hard shell that you create when you apply electricity to it, okay, from a the type of organism that's, flexible and not rigid. But once you apply electricity to it, it becomes rigid. But anyway, Missing 411, okay, what happens to the people there is that they're paralyzed because of the GHB. This is what we learned from Dave Paulides in Missing 411, with the people who are found with high levels of GHB. These things are able to probe your mind. So if they're able to probe your mind and get into your mind and create excessive amounts of GHB to paralyze you, okay, what else is going on in your mind? Well, all of these abduction stories and everything else, okay, is paralyzing you. Betty and Barney Hill never left their car. They were paralyzed there and probed by these organisms in a way that they communicate, okay? They see the energy field of living organisms, okay? That's probably seeing infrared or something to that effect. So, in any case, this is what the fellow said about the Tic Tac UFO, okay? And that it was behaving erratically, okay? Okay. This is a comment by the actual fighter pilot, and what I mean by erratic is that it changes in altitude, airspeed, and aspect were just unlike things that I've ever encountered before flying against other air targets. It was just behaving in ways that aren't physically normal. That's what caught my eye. Okay, here's an article with an interview with the fighter pilot who saw the Tic Tac UFO and filmed it, okay? This fellow here, okay? It was behaving erratically, okay? So what other things that fly here on good old Mother Earth here, all right, that fly erratically, okay? Many insects fly erratically, okay? All these insects fly. Here's questions in forums. Why do insects fly so erratically? Almost like the movements of the dragonfly, okay? Amazing Dragonfly. And here, by the way, is Trevor James Constable, another fellow who wrote a book about living UFOs, okay, in 1949, I believe, or the early 50s, I'm not sure now, but they live in the sky, okay, things that live in the sky, okay. These things are intelligent like orca, okay. How intelligent could that possibly be? Alright, are orcas smart enough to plot against humans? Their intelligence explained. Okay, something's going on with these. Starting in 2020, intensifying through 2023, orcas have unleashed what appear to be coordinated attacks on fishing vessels off the coast of the Iberian Peninsula and even as far as north as Scotland. Scientists believe the rise of the attacks indicate that the killer whales are teaching each other methods of provoking humans and boats. Are these intelligent animals really organizing in a form of rebellion against the fishing industry? While no one is certain why this is happening, we do know that orcas are one of the most intelligent species on Earth, capable of problem solving, communicating, and even creating culture within their social groups. They are absolutely capable of coordinating attacks, even if we don't understand their motivations. Okay, similar to what's going on with the UFOs, I believe. And it was funny when I mentioned this in the interview of Mike and Jared Murphy on Conflict Radio, which is they interviewed me. I was freezing, by the way, in that interview. It was like sometime a year like this, and I was outside. I think it was raining too. It was raining, cold rain on me. I was out being interviewed for like an hour and a half. I was absolutely freezing, but they interviewed me. I had told Mike, and he was like shocked. You think they're alive? And Jared Murphy said, oh, they probably AI machines. Okay, very interesting responses. And again, this bias against this type of thinking on the UFOs is really evident. I talk to many people about this out in the real world, and one of the responses that I get is that I don't believe in UFOs, and that's not what I say. I'm not saying that I don't believe in UFOs. It's what they are. You see? But that's the first response from them. It's not that, oh, you think they're this instead of that. No. It's, I don't believe in them, and because I'm saying there's something else. See, that's how I know how a trained seal responds or a parrot responds to what they've heard. Okay? They're not using their minds. They're not listening. They're not paying attention. Okay? They're just repeating what they've heard over and over again. Alright? So, when I mentioned this to these guys here, and here's this guy been doing interviews for a long time with people in the UFO field, and nobody's ever mentioned this to him at all. And it's part of UFO lore, just as simple as that. Again, going back to Charles Fort, okay, and Wilhelm Reich, and Trevor James Constable, okay. They live in the sky. Okay, he wrote this other book, Sky Creatures, Living UFOs, later on. Okay. These things' abilities are just unbelievable. Cosmic Pulse of Life, another book by Trevor James Constable. This thing is pictured as a creature here. It's not a craft. It looks like it. And I often refer to Moya on Farscape, but when I say Moya is a female Leviathan transport vessel in the show Farscape, she is a living, sentient, biomechanical spacecraft, a biomechanoid. Okay? You know, this is not an unusual idea of something living in space, a craft like this. And I often show, and I show in my videos there on my channel there, the midshipman fish, and you know, just the way the midshipman fish looks. It looks like a UFO. Okay, as I frequently say, these things are bioluminescent, just like creatures here on this planet. They're bioelectric, and they're biomechanical. And it could be that they were either spawned or created. Here's a midshipman fish right here. Okay? The vast ocean of space, like Carl Sagan once said. Well, what lives in a vast ocean? All sorts of weird crustaceans and all kind of stuff. Okay? Here I explain Roswell. Okay? They didn't get a spacecraft there. They got one of these creatures. And they tried to dissect it. And they couldn't really figure out what it was. But they got some stuff from it, like fiber optics and some sort of computer stuff from it. But they couldn't figure out what makes these things work. They're biomechanoids. Well, they're part machine. Just like I explained, certain organisms on this planet, like the electric eel, for instance, are built like machines. Okay? Who can stun their prey? Okay? Okay? Who can stun their prey? Okay? Any number of animals here, and the electric eel is one of them. Does it with electricity, but what are these UFOs producing? Okay? The beam, okay, that comes out of them. Alright? What is it? Alright? People are reporting swarms of these things shooting at each other. They're probably predatory on each other. But I'm sure they've chewed up a human being or two, or whatever, if they are these kind of, I think they have some sort of covering up to their real body, and they have appendages and whatnot. They're able to eat and all kind of stuff, so they must have, this thing is not only a tractor beam, they're masters of gravity, they're masters of electricity. Gravity is electromagnetic phenomena. Okay? And they obviously have control over this. Look, here's one of those atmospheric organisms with the orgone cannons, with the Wilhelm Reich orgone cannons firing at it, I guess. But I just wanted to bring to your attention what they said, and it's just sure these are animals that also stun their prey, like the dolphin, are very intelligent. And I think what's going on here, look, here's what it says here: biomechanical basis of a wing of these insects. Okay, they're biomechanical. This insect right here is biomechanical. Right? I'm not just using that term indiscriminately, okay? Creatures on this planet display biomechanical features, okay? And insects are certainly one of them, and especially the dragonfly that they can't figure out. I like this dragonfly ship. It's pretty cool, and it's an interesting truth drop. Okay, this is an alien space vehicle, right? And it happens to be a dragonfly that I often refer to many times, well, before this movie came out. But again, back to the Tic Tac and the analysis given by that pilot who said it's a shapeshifter. Okay, just look, folks, these things are animals. I think they're predatory too. This is what's happening to Dave Paulides' people here. They're being abducted by these things, but they're not just simply taking them up and giving them sort of all kinds of medical tests. So that's what their mind is making of, because they're exciting whatever part of the brain that creates the GHB, because that's what Dave Paulides says is found in a few of these people, and he's always asking for them to do more chemical analysis on whatever bodies are retrieved to find out if this is happening with them as well. Okay, but there's enough cases of it to suggest this. Okay, so this is what the biomechanoids are doing. This is part of their predatory behavior, and they're able to paralyze their prey. Here's the stance before attacking the prey, just like the shapeshifter Tic Tac UFO shapeshifted into the right position so it could blast over there in a millisecond, 60 miles away. Okay, but folks, rigid ships or spaceships can't be shapeshifters. Okay, what's going on with these people is like Betty and Barney Hill. They're being paralyzed. The GHB is being produced them, and they're paralyzed in their car. And this thing has the ability to probe their minds, of people's minds. Okay, well, they are probing them on a level that's not completely in a way that we can understand, but we're trying to make sense of what they're doing, and that's as close as we can get. Okay, it has to take some shape in our mind, the probing. Okay, but so many truth drops, like in the movie Arrival with the octopus people and trying to communicate, etc., etc. Well, an octopus is one of the smartest creatures on this planet. Okay, and it looks like an alien too, and has amazing abilities, and some of them are also bioluminescent as well. Okay, lots of bioluminescent, lots of animals that produce their own light, animals that produce their own electricity, animals that have anatomy that's more likened to a machine than an animal right here on planet Earth. Okay, so what's so hard to believe about UFOs being this way? They're extremely intelligent. They have ability to paralyze us, creating by invading our brain in a way with their energy that creates GHB. It paralyzes us. Maybe their brains are similar, or the brains of their prey are in a way that they paralyze them, or try to paralyze them as part of their weaponry, as part of their hunting tools. Because there's probably many of these things, as I talked about before. Okay, so in any case, I just wanted to talk about the Tic Tac UFO, UAP, all right, and that they had said that the thing was flying erratically, animals acted erratically, animals shapeshift, strange and mysterious insect behaviors. Okay, so things like dragonflies doing extreme calculations and all kind of stuff. So you got to think about it, right? These things could very well be living creatures, and just what that guy said about the Tic Tac UFO when he was doing an analysis of it, being a shapeshifter, just confirmed it for me that it was not a ship or a spacecraft, a spaceship or a spacecraft. It's something that's alive and has all these amazing abilities, just like many, many animals have on this planet right here. Just amazing abilities. And why shouldn't they have amazing abilities as well? Okay? Paralyze their prey. Alright guys, so anyway, I hope you sort of enjoyed that video here on Thanksgiving Day, and you got something to watch over the weekend here. And just think about it, okay? It doesn't appear to me that these things are ships. There's some sort of creatures that live in space, and why not? You have creatures living in the most inhospitable places on this planet that people wonder how they could be alive there, but they are. Life is prolific, okay, and it makes no sense why aliens would come to this planet and not introduce themselves in some manner or form, either hostile or not. Friendly or hostile, or, there's no reason for them to get into government and kidnap people. Once they see the anatomy of a human being, how many times they got to do it? They're more advanced, right? So all these things don't make any sense. The way that these ships form in our atmosphere, no living creature could be. If I strap you onto a dragonfly, you'd be dead from the G-forces in like seconds, okay? These things perform in such a way that it's impossible for anything to be living inside these things. It's nothing living inside. They're alive. They're just simply alive, folks. They just gotta get it through your head that these things are alive. They live in the sky. Alright, creatures that live in space and in our atmosphere and are probably all over the universe, but may have their origination here when they were experimenting in the past with all kinds of bioengineering and genetic engineering going on and stuff. We had an advanced civilization here, more advanced than ours in the past. It's clear as day. We're probably a product of it in every domestic animal, and corn, without any doubt, certainly is. There's no doubt about it. Hands down. Clear evidence of a more advanced civilization of the past. Just right in your face. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. And think about it a bit. And, look into Trevor James Constable and what Charles Fort thought about these things. Look into it. Look into the possibility of this. This is all buried by mainstream. Okay, you don't hear about it ever. You won't hear about it on YouTube ever. Okay, just on this channel. So keep watching. Alright, anyway, guys, happy Thanksgiving. Bugcat7 signing out. Peace.